In this episode, we have fun talking about how to generate state, generate feelings.
I'm Sienna.
And I'm Toast.
We're partners in love, life, and music, and we've been together since 2001.
With each episode of this podcast, our goal is to help our fellow LGBT community members lift their lives to the next level.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh God.
Toast just gave me the eye roll.
I feel like there's a
God.
character on SNL that Kirsten Wiig does.
Wig.
With the eye roll lady.
How do
You know
I
that
turn
lady,
this-
right? Oh
my
my
head-
God.
How do I turn my headset down? It's too... Okay.
Am I too loud in your ear hole?
Thank you. All right. Hi, everyone. This is Sienna,
This is Toast.
and we're happy you're here.
We're smiling. Can you hear our smile?
We're happy you're here. So I just wanted to say that thank you all for your messages, for the reviews that you've been leaving,
Yeah,
for the
thanks, you
emails coming
guys.
through, for podcast topic ideas that have come through. Thank you so much. And just know, we wanted you all to know that we do tend to batch our podcasts. So we record 3 in a row.
Like 3 at a time. on
3
one
at a
day, And then
time.
we just, release
And then we
them
do,
every
So,
week.
so I just wanted you to know that. So we will acknowledge, messages sent to us if you've given us permission. So make sure if you do leave us a message and you don't mind having us share that you give us permission to do so. Are we having technical difficulties here?
I'm just making sure that our levels
might,
are
right?
good.
Okay, hold on, people. We will be right back. And we're back.
Okay. This is what it's
Okay,
like
no.
when you
See,
don't
that's
have
wrong.
a producer or an engineer. And you
That's
have to be your
way-
own producer engineer.
But
Wow,
look,
we're really loud in your ear holes
Okay,
now.
turn that. Oh my gosh,
All
you
right,
guys.
all right.
Seriously.
I'll need to fix it in post. I think I can do it.
Okay.
All right.
So, hello again. So anyways, we just want to say thank you to all of you reaching out. What's been so nice is that although we have some wonderful new listeners to the podcast, we also have been reunited with listeners from the Girl Meets Girl days,
And it
from
feels
McKenna
so good.
days. So thank you for continuing to listen. We so appreciate all of you. And we do have some notes and reviews from the community.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun.
So this is a review from Diane. This was left on the iTunes section of
Yes.
podcasts.
Yes.
So thank you guys so much. She wrote, "These girls are friendly and fun. They care about life and all people. Their podcast is insightful and a great listen. They are open and honest and just good people where and when it counts. There's not enough of that in today's world, and we need to all take a lesson from them and live and let live. Thank you, girls, for a great podcast and all your caring." Diane.
That's so nice.
How awesome, Diane. Oh my gosh. Thank you so, so much. I totally appreciate you standing up there and saying that we need more of this kind of, live and let live and just open energy. And can we just all care about each other in the world?
Yep. And Diane
Yes.
and her partner, Kathy, are
Thank you, Diane.
married and have been together for a beautiful long length of time. They live on the East Coast, and recently Diane has shared with us her beautiful garden. She is currently growing amazing dahlias and other plants and flowers.
Love it.
Huge blooms, like dinner plate size
Wow.
blooms. Yes. So
Oh, that just makes me
Check out-
take a deep breath and just feel relaxed just hearing that.
yes, no, so beautiful. And so if you want to check out Diane's Dahlias, that could be a business name. Why are you looking at me like that?
I don't know. I think you're cute.
Toast. Okay, so anyways, if you want to check those out, just go to our Instagram at Sienna and Toast, and look. And if you click on what is that one? That one that people tag you?
The one that people tag you.
Yeah, on your Instagram, you can click on the little person's head, and that takes you to a whole new page of all the tagged pictures.
I'm sure people who are on the power
they know what I'm
users
talking
of
about.
Instagram.
Okay,
Yeah,
so just check out our Instagram and you'll find Diane's Dahlias. Okay, so thank you, Diane. So just, you know what, Diane? Send us a message and we would love to send you a little gift.
Okay, so to introduce the topic for this episode, which is all about how to generate state, how to take more control and dominion over our own feelings. Mm-hmm. We have a fun story to tell you. Oh, but first, thank you to JB, who is a listener who left a comment on the blog for the previous episode about the difference between emotions and feelings, because JB kind of prompted us to follow up and do a podcast episode about, how do you generate feelings?
And she caught us in the perfect batching moment.
Yeah.
She really did.
So that's what we're going to do. Is JB a she?
JB is a she.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm glad you know these things.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
No, you know JB. You would know JB if you saw JB's picture.
Oh.
JB is awesome. JB is someone we met a very long time ago back in California when we used to perform music at the South Bay Gay and Lesbian Center. Oh. So she is like day one back way back in the day.
Yeah.
And if for some reason I'm mixing JB's up, please let us know and tell us who you are.
JB will be like, not me.
And I'm a man. But anyways, so thank you, JB. It's so nice to hear from you. We were happy to see your message come through. And so this episode is especially for you. Okay, so our fun story. Okay, the story. Well, was it really fun? It was not fun.
At the time.
Okay, so here's what happened. So I am old school and I love, like, in so many ways. Like Mariah, I love old school Mariah, even though I still keep up with her current stuff because I'm just loyal. But I really love old school Mariah. And I know that was the time when she and Tommy Mottola, she felt like such a prisoner. And so maybe that wasn't the real Mariah. But I think I get her essence.
But you just like the manufactured fake Mariah. And that's okay.
But I love the flawed. No, I love the flawed Mariah. The real human, wounded, flawed Mariah that is still able to shine like a butterfly. I love that one.
Yes.
But I just really love her early day stuff. Probably her first 6 full albums are the albums that I love the most. So anyways, we have seen her in Vegas. And there was an opportunity to see her again because she was doing a concert with Lionel Richie.
She was going to be a special guest.
And so Lionel Richie, he's also old school. Okay. So like if you like certain kind of music. So anyways, we got tickets and we were very excited. And we had these tickets up on our bulletin board. We had it, in our calendar, like, okay, great. This is the day we're going to go. And it was a weekday. So because it was a weekday, we were like, okay, we really have to plan things here. We have to leave really early because it was in Anaheim and during traffic hour. So we really planned everything. And we dressed really nice because it's a concert and it's like a date night, right?
Right.
So we got ready. Then we're in the car. We are in the car.
We're on the freeway in Southern California. So there's traffic.
Tons of traffic.
Which we kind of expected.
Which I know. Like but we left early to try to avoid the traffic.
Right.
And I get a little bit of car sick with the stop and go vibe. And so this was kind of that kind of traffic. But anyways, we finally
made it
there. And something is off. Like we're looking around.
We're driving. We're driving along the street.
Yep.
That
in traffic
is adjacent to the venue. Mm-hmm. We'd never been to this venue before, so we're not familiar with the area.
It's the Honda Center.
but we did see a lot of eateries, right? The restaurants.
Basic eateries.
Yeah, the restaurants and the coffee houses in that whole area. Just trying to find the entrance to this place.
But we did see like
throngs
tons
of people. A lot of them were wearing orange. Like crowds and groups of people
and
wearing orange, and they look like they're sports jerseys.
Kinda.
Yeah. Like bunches of people like crossing the street all
people,
at once.
like tons, hordes of people
flooding
and
outside
we're thinking
of restaurants.
Like, oh, these are people going to the concert, I think. But then they're all wearing orange. So then we're like, what's going on? So anyways, we're still in this long car line, and we finally make it on the premises, and we are driving to our parking options place.
Trying to figure out where's the parking.
We park. I think we can park here. I think we can park there. So we decide, okay, let's park here. Most of the cars seem to be going in this direction. We go to, what is she? The attendant?
Yeah, the little guard shack before you enter the actual parking area, right? The parking attendant shack.
And here we are, and we're dressed, like I mentioned, we're dressed nice. And most of the people, kind of like the herds of people, were dressed more like casual, like they're going to a tailgate or something like that, right?
Exactly that.
So the woman just asks us, oh, why are you here? Why are you here? We're like, oh, we're here to see the concert.
What concert? She says. We give her the ticket, and she looks at it, and she goes,
oh, this concert was postponed.
It got rescheduled because of the Ducks game.
So these orange people were Ducks people.
Yeah.
Right?
The Anaheim Ducks apparently were doing really well in the Stanley Cup playoffs or something. And we did not know about it because we're not good lesbians like that keeping up with the sports world.
Right. So then...
So poor Sienna, because she was already feeling so car sick.
Well...
And then now... There's no concert. Now we have to go back in traffic.
So then I was like, oh my God. I put on my eyelashes for this. Like, oh my God. So then we laugh now. We had to make some choices, because here we are. We're hungry now, because we thought, oh, we can go in there. They have all, some food things. We can just eat something.
Eat concession food.
Eat concession food. We don't do that often. This is a nice little, just novel thing. Let's do that. So we had to decide, like, okay, are we going to just drive all the way back in traffic or find someplace around here? So we decided, you know what, let's just get something to eat around here. So we're driving around, and we're driving around in like that neighborhood style type of traffic. So not freeway traffic, but just still a lot of people. It's a congested area.
It was still congested because of all the people, the supportive Anaheim Ducks fans.
People. And we kept driving around, and all we were finding were like meat chains.
The sizzle and steak kind of places.
Yes.
Bar and grill. And hey, those are great for sports bars and stuff.
Yes, totally great. But I was already just in a mood. And I really felt like, oh my God, I'm just going to have a Caesar salad and not have the cheese and no croutons. So basically I'm just eating crunchy iceberg lettuce, and boy, that's going to make me feel great. So anyways, this was an opportunity for me to really generate a new state.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes,
and to really greet the shifting circumstances, to greet them in the most efficient way with a different kind of energy.
Like you did on the Olivia cruise.
Like I did on the Olivia cruise, yes.
Because the Olivia cruise is a whole nother experience that we had, where you were also dealing with motion sickness. Because I
was a rock star on the Olivia cruise. Yes. I swear to God. But with this, let's just close the loop on the Mariah thing. Okay. So anyways, so basically, poor Toast, I was just bitching all the way. Like, all the way, people. Even down to, it's kind of one of, I don't know if you guys, I'm sure some of you have felt this way. It's like when that one thing when let me start again. It's when those few little things kind of have a little bit of power to make you just like lose it, but you don't. And then that big thing, meaning, oh, there's no concert tonight. That big thing kind of takes you down, and then you're just spiraling down. And you even kind of do an out of body, and you see yourself.
Do you?
I do.
Wow.
You even kind of see yourself, and you can hear yourself, and you're like, don't, why did you say that? Don't say that. Oh my God, you are being such a bitch. I mean, and you can see yourself and feel, and but it's like, that thing is rolling down the hill. It's like going already. It's gone. And it's almost like you have to let that ball roll all the way down until it's all the way down the hill. And then you can kind of regroup and recover.
Let the storm kind of take its course.
Yes, because I was bitching and bitching and bitching about why Ticketmaster didn't send us an email about the change of the date. Whose responsibility was it to tell us that the date was changed? Why isn't there any other kind of food place around here? And why did they seat us in this sticky booth? And why is this? I mean, it was over. And poor Toast. Although there was a moment when she was reminding me of the spiritual principles, and then she knew that, oh, I better not go there. Not right now.
But now I realize maybe one thing I could have done instead was just like in the parking lot of the Sizzlin' Steak restaurant. I could have maybe just gotten out of the car, and then when Sienna is able to see me, I could have just dropped on the ground and started rolling around on the asphalt.
To make me laugh?
Yeah, just to do something so absurd and ridiculous to be like, okay, this is nuts. Like, let's just time out, everybody.
Toast,
the stop, drop, and roll thing.
Toast has a handful of things that just make me crack up. And one of them is when she dances hula.
It's fake hula, though.
I will leave it at that. But yes, I know we're kind of, this story went on so long. But yes, the stop, drop, and roll. Why don't we get into that?
Okay. Remember when you were a little kid and you had some kind of fire safety awareness week or something, and then the firemen would come to your classroom and explain to you that if you ever, for some reason, caught yourself on fire, then what you're supposed to do is stop, drop, and roll.
Yep.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, I totally remember that.
Yes.
Okay. So,
and you'd practice.
I don't remember practicing. I remember the plastic red fireman hat that we all got. A fireman hat. You didn't get that?
No, I didn't get that.
Okay. Anyway, stop, drop, and roll. And that phrase and that here's what you do kind of came to mind as we began discussing this topic of how to work with our feelings and kind of change where that ball rolling down the hill situation is going. Because, there's all this inertia that has built up with a certain emotion. And we realize, hey, it's kind of like, well, the first challenge is to stop and realize that I do want to change.
Yeah.
This is the watcher thing.
This is the watcher, and we can do maybe another podcast on this, but I'll just say quickly what that is for people who don't know what the watcher is. Yeah. Okay, so the watcher, or it's often called the watcher or the witness. There is a greater part of ourselves that has the capacity to notice what we're noticing. And as a noticer, as a watcher or a witness, it's not immersed in the feeling of the thing. It is merely watching. It's witnessing, like, oh,
look at that boulder going down the hill.
Yes.
Is that what you would have?
Yes, that's the part of me
that's out of body.
Yes, that kind of that is going, I think that's enough.
Okay. So that's the stop.
Maybe. Right. But my boulder was rolling down, right? Okay. And I wasn't listening I didn't give my watcher the floor. I continued being right there in the arena, right, being the main character and just being bitchy, right? Instead of listening to my watcher and going, You know what? Yeah, I think this is enough.
Okay.
Why don't we try and enjoy the rest of this dinner?
Okay. So, and so I guess that's where the drop part comes in. Like, let's drop
this bitchiness. Let's drop this vibration. Let's drop this feeling I have of such, because I was angry. I was grouchy. I was feeling hungry. I was feeling car sick. I was feeling, all these different feelings, right? But it really is about what we do with them. And so one of the things, so we just talked about stop. So how do you now drop? What are you dropping? You're dropping the old stuff. You're dropping the thing you want to release. You're dropping the old paradigm.
And that's the pattern interrupt where I was like, what I could have done is just thrown myself on the asphalt and rolled across the asphalt.
Yes.
And that would have really helped to drop the old stuff.
Yeah, I would have been laughing.
It would have been like putting a stick into the wheels of the gears, right?
Exactly. And so so you're not always going to have a toast with you rolling on the asphalt near you to make you laugh and to do that pattern interrupt. So what you can do for yourself is to do a box breathing exercise. Connecting and reconnecting with your breath is one of the fastest and efficient ways to really interrupt and break a pattern.
And unfortunately, you can do that less conspicuously than
instead of
dancing fake
rolling,
hula,
or rolling on the
ground.
asphalt. Yes,
yeah,
right. You can do that when you're standing in line at the grocery store, and you can pretty much do it. So
box breathing. So this is something that you guys maybe have heard of already. I think it's a pretty common term. I first learned about it using this term box breathing from a former Navy SEAL commander named Mark Devine. I didn't learn it from him personally, but he has a big online presence. And box breathing, he says he learned it when he was in the Navy SEALs. And they teach it to first responders and other people that have to deal with stressful situations in their work, because of course it does come in handy to calm down that fight or flight, right? So you can make decisions with a cooler head. But the reason he calls it box breathing is because just like a square or a box, the way that you do your breathing is very even, just like every side of a box is even. So for example, you inhale for a count of, let's just say 4, you hold it for a count of 4, then you exhale for a count of 4, and you hold that for a count of 4. So there's a pause between the inhale and the exhale. It's not, right?
That's fire breathing.
And then you hold it. And then you exhale.
Yeah.
And then you just rest there. And then you inhale. Yeah. So.
And it's actually a very calming practice. And what I would say is that there are also other versions of box breathing. Some people use a rectangle. So one of my mentors, actually that's how I learned the box breathing technique. She uses a rectangle. So she would be inhaling for, say, a count of 3, but holding for the long side for a count of 6.
Okay.
Exhaling for 3, and staying in that resting place for a count of 6 and starting again. So it really is just, you decide, you try this, see if what feels good to you. Because for me, I like the box breathing versus rectangle, and I like a count of 5. That's what I prefer. So doing 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. And then
depends
you
how
like
fast
4.
you count.
That's true.
Right? I mean, yeah, I really.
But I like
when I first tried it, I would mind F it up, because I was trying to do it so militantly of like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I was having to be exact, okay, is that 4 counts or 4.5, or just make sure it's 4, which was stressing me out more, right? So I really found that I had to just try it in a relaxed, way first, In other words, don't wait till I'm stressed out to try it necessarily, right?
Yeah, just start
try
practicing and seeing how.
And see what starts to feel good for you. I think it's a really individualized thing because, like I said, even though I did first hear of it from this guy, Mark Divine, we have come across many different variations of it.
Yeah.
Right. So I think it is a really individual thing, which makes complete sense because your life's journey is your individual life's journey. But regardless, the principle of how breath is such a valuable key to working with your state, right? To having that awareness, having that sovereignty over your own state.
Yeah.
Super, super helpful to remember and make use of. So that's a helpful tool to drop the undesired state.
Yeah, because when you're doing that, when you're doing the box breathing, you're really relaxing that fight or flight part of you. There's a part of us that is reactive, and that's the fight or flight part of us. So when you do a technique like the box breathing technique, it helps to calm that part of us down so that now we can be proactive and be in a position to choose to roll with the new paradigm.
Yeah, get the new thing rolling.
Get the new thing rolling. And it's a really effective technique. And I did have a wonderful client who I absolutely loved working with. And when I introduced the box breathing technique to her, she implemented it right away. This is what I loved about her so much. I would, teach tools and she would just be right there implementing it same day, next day, that week. And with the box breathing in particular, she found that it was extremely helpful for her. And she was also at the same time using something called a muse band that helps to really measure your brain waves to get the brain pattern into a more meditative, calm state. And by measuring that, you can see where you are. And so when she was doing the box breathing, she had like the best score she ever had using that muse band. So
amazing.
So try it. Yeah, see if it resonates with you. If this doesn't, there are many other types of generating state in ways to generate state aside from this box breathing technique.
Well, here's the thing, the box breathing technique is kind of a way to just drop the old, right? It's kind of like an eraser where you just wipe the slate clean.
Yeah.
So at least you don't have all this gunk and crud and stuff that you don't want. It just kind of wipes the slate clean. At least that's been our experience so far with it. So the next thing, though, of trying to get the new thing rolling, like what state do you want, right? This is where it's, again, very, very individualized. But fortunately, this is all the fun stuff because let's just rattle off a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, okay. So there's so many things to help you gain that traction and that momentum to roll in the direction that you want to roll in. Some of it can be creating a playlist. So you can do it through music. You can create playlists of there are songs that you guys know about that just make you feel great. It brings you back to a memory, whatever it might do. But to create an incredible playlist for you to just go to your music in order to generate that state further, to jump into that.
So that's the sense of hearing, scent, the sense of smell, like
aromatherapy, oils,
beautiful candles,
oils,
incense. Yep. I think that's the value of those things. Those things are incorporated into magical and spiritual and religious things, and I think one of the reasons for that is because it does alter your state.
It does.
Right?
And what I would say about aromatherapy, I'll say three great oils to have on hand would be lavender, which everyone in the world knows now, it's coming. But eucalyptus is so clearing. It's literally clearing in the sense of like congestion, like chest congestion, all that stuff. But it really has this fresh, clearing vibe about it. I love eucalyptus. That's a fabulous oil to have. But also grapefruit. Grapefruit is very uplifting, joyful. It's a very joyful scent. So those would be great aromatherapies to help.
Cool. So that's a sense of smell. The sense of just kinesthetic, or what is that? What is a word? I don't know the word. Never mind.
Okay, maybe you'll think of it while you explain, because we don't know the word either. I don't know the word. I don't even know what you're talking about.
I'm talking about using your body, putting your body into a certain position. So instead of dancing fake hula just to interrupt stuff and just to break up an old pattern that you don't want, so what do you do with your body to get the new thing rolling? Well, science has shown that if you just literally stand up in what can be considered a power pose, like put your hands above your head, like you just
Superman.
cross the banner of a track and field finish line, in a triumphant kind of pose. Just hold that pose for 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes.
It changes things.
Literally changes your
state.
Yeah, it literally changes your state. You're going to feel better. You're going to feel more confident. So what is that sense?
I don't know. I don't know. But that's a great one. That's a great one.
And similar to that is temperature, right? I think like taking a cold shower, right? Just waking your body up, working with your body in that way to change your state. And then the other one is, I guess we can call it self-talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Self-talk. So one of the things that's really important to have is to have your go-to statements that you can memorize or have it written on an index card, keep it in your bag, your wallet, your pocket, whatever it is, and then and keep it in your bathroom, just places where you can read the card, pick up the card and read it and affirm the person you are becoming.
Like, I am a person who...
Right, and fill that
in the blank.
Yep.
And see, I have had trouble with this in the past because sometimes I would feel like, oh my gosh, like I'm just basically lying to myself. Those kinds of statements where it's like, I'm a person who is making my life better, and look, I'm making all this progress. And when I wouldn't feel like I was, so I would feel like a fake, right?
Okay.
Doing this. But the way that I can kind of get around that and do a workaround is to say to myself, well, you know what? I'm a person who has a card of statements to help me feel better. I am a person who uses neurophysiology to help to take control of my state. I am a person who keeps on keeping on. Yeah. And who does address their feelings. Yeah. And those things are absolutely true because I'm doing them right now.
Yeah. So you found a way that feels true to you, that feels and with your statement, it's still very effective because it's in the positive, right?
It gets me, it helped to get me traction because I think when you're trying to get the new thing rolling, the key is to get at least a little bit of traction, because if you just get a little bit, then you can build on that. You need to have something to build on. Yeah. So that's why I love the stuff like scent or dancing fake hula. Yeah. Or whatever, because those are things where you don't have to think about it. You just do it. Yeah. Right? You don't have to convince yourself of a statement about yourself. You just
but every like we were saying about box breathing. I mean, everyone relates to things differently. Right. So some people might really resonate with the statements, right? Because that's just how they're made. While other people will resonate more with like aromatherapy and things like that. Something I will say for the statements that I've experienced, I totally know what you're talking about and feeling fake and like whatever it might be. But I will say that the more I do them, you start to believe it.
Yes. And
the more you do it. And I think the trick is to choose preferably just one statement instead of like this laundry list of fabulous, even if it's fabulous self-statements, to choose just one that really encompasses the vibe, the feeling that you're after. And to have that in a place that you will see it often. So it might be the bathroom because you're going to be brushing your teeth twice a day. So you at least see it twice a day. Or you can take that card, like I said earlier, and put it in your pocket and bring it to work, put it on your whatever it might be. But the more you do it, the more you really integrate with that statement. And I think that's important, so that when the old paradigms come up and you stop and you're watching and you're witnessing and you're going, okay, wait, no, I am going to stop this. I choose this because I want to do differently. Then you do something to help you drop it, like the breathing exercise that we talked about, and then to help you really roll into and get that momentum in that new direction, that new pattern you're creating, to remind yourself of who you are truly becoming, I think is really important. And I think it's excellent to be specific. So if you are a successful entrepreneur, you're saying successful entrepreneur instead of I am a happy person. It can be I am a successful, happy entrepreneur, but to be specific to what you are working with in particular at the time.
And I think journaling is a form of self-talk. And I think
journaling is excellent.
Yeah. Like taking, and I see in this context, I so value journaling because that's the time and the work and the deep thought and memory that you put in so that you can arrive at, for example, a memory of a time where, hey, you really showed how you came through for something. You rose to the occasion.
Yep.
And you can wire your brain into that memory so that when you are saying, I'm a person who has what it takes. I am a person who can come through in a pinch.
Yeah.
You've done the work ahead of time to kind of prove to yourself, yep, I did it then.
Yeah.
You have a memory to go to. I think that's
like
where
spiritual proof.
Yeah. I think that's where one aspect of how journaling is helpful and can
you're
inform
a great
that
journaler.
self-talk. It helps me.
You're a great journaler. But why don't we wrap this little section up? Why don't we use I would love to kind of use these very particular points of stop, drop, and roll. Okay. With the Mariah concert situation. Okay. Because maybe that'll really just kind of wrap it up.
Okay. All right.
So here I am having this attitude, and I noticed it early on, but it really all started coming down when they said that the concert was canceled and we were looking for a place to eat and we couldn't find something that I really wanted. That's when it started to come down. So at that point, it would have been great for me to allow my watcher to really take the reins and to go, you know what? Okay. Let's choose another way to be here. Let's generate another state here. So in that stopping point, stopping and really just acknowledging that, you know what? I want to choose another way to be. The night is young. I want to choose another way to be. So in order to help drop that current existence of the grouchiness and the bitchiness, taking my time to do the box breathing, whether I'm still sitting in the car, whether we're just parked in the parking lot, deciding where we're going to eat, just say, Toast, you know what? I need to do my box breathing. You want to do it with me? Let's do it together.
Let's breathe together, people.
And then do the box breathing. And then now emerge with that clean slate that Toast talked about, feeling like, you know what? Okay, I feel better. I'm not in fight or flight anymore. What do I want to choose now? How do I want to roll with this and the different way of being? And one thing with this situation is, and this is something that we didn't mention yet, is I could have easily meaning after the breathing, gone to gratitude Because look at us. We have nice clothes. We're dressed up. And yes, okay, so the concert was canceled. But look, Toast and I now have a free evening to have an unexpected dinner date night. And I'm so grateful for having a partner of, at the time, 16 years. And we love each other. And it's not like we're never going to this concert. It was just postponed.
Right.
So we have
it wasn't
the concert,
even canceled.
We have the concert to look forward to.
It was postponed.
Yes. And even if we are going to go to Sizzle and Steak,
or whatever that place was called. I don't even know.
I can just
clams on a grill. Who knows what it was called?
I can have crunchy iceberg lettuce, but that's okay. I bet they're going to have a nice dessert that we can share and enjoy. So I could have really gone to gratitude and brought myself more present with the time that I was having with Toast and turned the whole night around. And that could have done it.
Do you think, it's a follow-up question.
Oh, okay.
Do you think that thinking about, well, it could be worse. Look, we didn't get into a car accident. Do you think
that those help?
Yeah. Because I use that sometimes, but I do wonder. It's like, is this the best way to?
I think that's a great first step. I think it's a great first step because the intention is there.
That's true.
It's coming up because you want to shift state, right?
That's
true. But hopefully, the next step would be to take the next level of that, and instead of look, it could be worse, and saying the worst thing, to find the gratitude moment, to find the true, genuine thing you can feel grateful for in the moment, instead of flipping it that way. So
okay, so
anyways,
it could be like a
think.
traction. It could be like, hey, this is getting me traction, at least to get to the next level.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Actually, one last thing.
Okay.
That I think is very important.
Okay.
And I think you'll agree.
Okay.
Is that even though in this whole episode we're talking about, hey, this is a great discussion about how each of us can exercise more sovereignty over our feelings, right? And here's how you can interrupt undesired feelings and replace them with better feelings. Even though we spent the whole episode talking about that, we are not saying that bad feelings that feel bad should never be experienced and you should run away from them.
Right.
No, we're not saying that.
Right.
Because we do strongly feel that feelings that quote unquote feel bad, you should deal with them, right? And then and by deal with them, I'm thinking like spend some time journaling, like
and feel them. Be okay feeling
and know
them.
Why you feel that way. Is it something connected to your childhood that makes you automatically process certain experiences from a certain point of view? Do you automatically tend to have a certain attitude towards certain situation?
It's really looking
getting
for
to know yourself, right?
Yes, it's really looking for being aware of your patterns because you know them. You know when they come up. And if you have a certain reaction to certain things, most of the time, when you have those feelings come up, it might not be a time to really just do a bypass of that. It might be a time to really go, okay, you know what? This feeling tends to come up. Let me look at it.
And
Let me take a look at it.
Because it might be related to a wound.
Might be related to a wound. It might be the next thing that needs repatterning in order for you to get to your next level and evolve. It's like the stuff that comes up, I wouldn't necessarily, okay, so the Mariah example, that was really just, for me, looking back at that example, it was really tired, grouchy, hungry, car sick. There were a lot of elements that contributed to that. So I wouldn't say that moment that's something that always comes up and I should look at because it's connected to a wound.
Right.
But there definitely are things that I recognize in myself. Toast has her own things where you know what? I kind of tend to react a certain way when this certain thing comes up. Those are the times when, that your watcher will notice that. Your watcher will call that out. Like, hey, you know what? This thing has come up like 3 times this week. Or this thing has been coming up for the last 5 years. Or this thing, doesn't that remind you of when you were 4 and blah, blah, blah? And still do your box breathing, because you'll be able to greet that feeling with a different type of
more
framework.
conscious.
Yes, you'll be able to view it from a different vantage point instead of sitting in the wound and then trying to assess it from sitting in the wound that way.
Wounded.
Right. You'll take your deep breaths. You will be more of the watcher, and you can assess it from a place that will be more effective as you move forward. And in that space, that's when a lot of things come through, where then when you do feel it, because again, it's not about not feeling it, but taking the deep breaths will help you to see it in more of its truth, and the messaging of it, than staying stuck and then just being angry or just being sad. It's like, no, still do your deep breathing. But then when you go back to assess, you might end up still crying or feeling really angry, but at least you'll have cleared off all that top layer. That more reactive feeling, that more, just in the moment feeling, just kind of clear the slate, like you were saying, and then move forward and, okay, I would like to work on this. Because things that come up, that tend to come up often, those are the things we need to repattern. It's a sign, it's showing us, hey, this is our coming up again.
It's our growing opportunity, right?
Yeah.
Our healing opportunity.
Yeah, it's showing us. We're always being shown the thing to heal. Always. It's just about, are we listening? Are we paying attention? Do we have the tools? Are we ready? But I would say that if it's coming up, you're ready.
Are we being compassionate?
Yes.
With ourselves? Are we treating ourselves with compassion? In
know,
other words, when we
yes,
feel a
totally.
feeling that feels so upsetting, it would be a compassionate reaction or a response to spend time journaling about it, right? If you feel like, okay, there's something here, it would be the opposite of compassion to respond by saying, nope, that's a bad feeling. You can't feel that. Let me dance fake hula so that I don't feel that.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's all about how we treat ourselves, how we treat our soul. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly that. So there is a time and place to generate state, to feel better, to process, to do our soul care.
Okay. So this is a big topic. So if you want more, then that would be fantastic, because we actually love this topic of soul care. It's actually informing our membership program that we're still working on.
Yeah. So excited about that.
To help all of us, support all of us in our soul care.
Yes.
So sign up to stay in touch about that, to get notifications as that project develops. You can just go to siennaandtoast.com. Sienna is one N, everybody. siennaandtoast.com. And also we'll put the links in the show notes.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
So there you go.
So until next time, this is Sienna.
And this is Toast, telling you to love life, live free.